going to do a couple of readings for what's called the Radiant Sutra. Um, the Radiant Sutra is a dialogue between Shiva and his consort Parvati. And Parvati asked him, how do I attain enlightenment? So each of the sutras, which is a little mini sermon, is
It's a verse.
is a statement about the attaining of enlightenment. Now, what differs in these texts and is an aspect of spirituality that we're just now recovering uh, is the importance of creation of the world and of the body. So one of the revolutions that our generation has participated in is the emphasis is not on the other world, the emphasis is on this world. The emphasis is on finding heaven in my day-to-day life rather than finding it in some future afterlife. I think Rumi says something about what makes you think you're going to find heaven when you die if you can't find heaven while you're alive. And it's a beautiful reminder that we ain't shopping for enough. Our deserve level is too low. So he's talking about how creation, everything that we're taking in through our senses, is not something other than the sacred. It is the sacred, and that the response in our body, the energy in our body that responds to that, how your senses pass that energy on. And we now know through what's called quantum biology that the sunlight comes in through your eyes is directly carried through your optic nerve into the vagus nerve into the fascia, and you bioluminesce with the sun's light, which also includes photosynthesis. We have chlorophyll in our bodies, so we actually manufacture some energy on that level. We know now that sound penetrates the body, and again, nanotubules in the fascia carry those vibrations and turn sound into energy through quantum interactions. So all of this is to say science is validating the fact that our body's response to nature, the world we live in, feeds us and nourishes us spiritually. So paying attention to the energy in your body is absolutely essential to turning off the monkey mind and also recentering you ventrally. So today's meditation is to be on the bodyscape, how to stay and anchor yourself in your body. So this is one. The senses declare an outrageous world, sounds and scents, ravishing colors and shapes, ever-changing skies, iridescent reflections, all these beautiful surfaces decorating a vibrant emptiness. Now, emptiness is a word that, like a mirror, it is empty. We talked about this last week, but it receives and is full as everything it's reflecting. This emptiness is the fact that it's constantly changing. It has no substance. It takes no permanent shape. In other words, it's that constant flow of being, the Tao. Light as a feather, the God of love is courting you. My favorite line. Nature is not indifferent to you. Nature is trying to seduce you, trying to get you to relax, to lay down, to surrender, to open up. You're being actively seduced by nature. Every perception is an invitation to revelation, not sex, sorry people, but to revelation, to enlightenment. Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, ways of knowing creation, transmission of electric realizations. The deepest reality is always right here, encircled by splendor, in the center of this sphere. Meditate where the body thrills to currents of intimate communion. Listen to that phrase. It's what we're going to listen to today and learn to play with. Meditate where the body thrills to currents of intimate communion. Follow your senses to the end and beyond, into the heart of space. Okay? Surrender again. Let go. Let yourself feel the flow of energy back and forth, is what we mean by love and spirituality. It's not an emotion, it's a state of full openness, of moving towards life, of participating and engaging in that flow of energy that happens with every breath. We're breathing in plant breath, they're breathing in earth breath. We're going through the cycle of life with the in breath and death with the out breath, going through it all. So much is happening just sitting in a body on a cushion. This is not therapy. This is not getting to feel better. This is learning how to really know the universe in the biblical sense. Okay? Deep, passionate, ecstatic embrace. So let's go.
Okay. So this one is about 20 minutes. So is that as long as we'll go?
It'll go till the end. Sure.
Okay.
We'll let
So
him
he'll ring
out.
us in and ring us out on this bodyscape meditation. Okay, well, some reason.
If people are ringing in and out, we're going to have to let them out, not interrupt the meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Establishing yourself in whatever posture feels most appropriate for this moment, and dropping in on a sense of the breath moving in and out of your body as you sit here or as you lie here. Coming in touch with the sensations associated with the movement of the breath, wherever they might be most vivid, either at the nostrils or at the belly or in the chest, anywhere. And riding on the waves of your own breathing, moment by moment by moment. Experiencing the full duration of this breath coming in and the full duration of this breath leaving the body. Aiming the attention on these breath sensations and sustaining the attention as best you can. Resting in the feeling, sensing, knowing quality of the awareness of the breath, of the awareness itself, moment by moment, and breath by breath. And when you care to, if you care to, playing with shifting the primary focus of attention to the points of contact of the body with the chair or with the floor, and simply feeling, sensing the sensations associated with that contact, wherever they are in the body, and inviting them into awareness, attending to their quality, whatever they are, whether the sensations are pleasant, unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant. and just allowing them to be as they are. You rest here in awareness, and awareness will include the breath, since the breath is still here and is still moving in and out of the body. Almost as if the breath and the sensations in these regions, whatever they are coextensive and merge into one another as different aspects of the same moment and the same body. So just noticing that the breath can embrace the sensations of contact, of touch, of temperature and pressure, hardness or softness, whatever they are, and bathe those points of contact as if with awareness, inviting them to simply be felt and known and held just as they are in awareness, outside of thought, just the bare sensations themselves, whether mild, moderate, or strong in intensity, whether pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, not having to do anything about them, merely opening to them in awareness in this moment and allowing them to be just as they are as you rest in the present moment as it is, moment by moment by moment. And if you care to, you can experiment with featuring within the field of awareness any particular sensations anywhere in the body that may in fact be somewhat intense or unpleasant, perhaps due to your posture and the increasing time the body is still, or to some condition of the body that you may be dealing with at this time. Sensations that the mind might be tempted to label as uncomfortable, even painful. And instead of reacting or recoiling or distracting yourself in this moment, as we normally might, or getting overly preoccupied with wanting them to be different or to go away, and perhaps having the impulse to shift our posture to relieve this intensity, which of course we can always do if we care to, and which is sometimes a very appropriate and compassionate thing to do, especially if we're dealing with a chronic condition. Intentionally experimenting to whatever degree it feels appropriate with opening to them. And even if it sounds strange or feels strange, befriending them, if just a tiny bit, even for one brief moment, embracing them in awareness in the body, wherever they are, whether in one or both knees or somewhere in the lower back or the neck or head or the feet. And just, once again, resting in awareness, embracing and knowing these sensations, inviting them in, allowing them to be as they are, knowing them as mild if they are mild, moderate if they are moderate, intense if they are intense, pleasant if they are pleasant, and unpleasant if they are unpleasant. And only to the degree that you feel okay doing so, perhaps just getting your toe in the water at first, for one brief moment, before you contemplate opening to them more fully, putting out the welcome mat for them, especially sensations that can be fairly high in intensity. And gradually, over this sitting and over many sittings, becoming more intimate and on more friendly and accepting terms with the whole domain of sensations in the body, beyond pleasant and unpleasant, liking or disliking, pursuing or rejecting, thinking and emoting, just as an experiment in understanding yourself better, choosing to rest as best you can in an open, spacious awareness of the sensory world as it is in this moment, in this body. And even investigating for yourself, especially if some of the sensations border on or are frankly painful, is the awareness of these sensations in pain in this moment? Is the awareness of these sensations experiencing any suffering in this moment? And just inquiring and seeing, feeling, sensing what arises in awareness as a result of such an inquiry, a deep looking into the nature of intense sensation when it arises in the moment mindfulness is applied in an open-hearted and accepting way. And when you're ready, again, if you care to, allowing or inviting the field of awareness to expand to include the entire envelope of the skin and the air around the body, and a sense of the body as a whole, sitting here or lying here, breathing, to include this entire universe of sensations we call the body, what you might call the bodyscape, noticing perhaps that there is still the sense of the breath moving in and out, but now within the larger context of the whole body sitting and breathing, or lying here breathing. And just resting here in an awareness of the body as a whole, complete as it is, however it is. Awareness embracing the body, filling the body, surrounding the body, bathing the body, flowing through the body, anywhere and everywhere, just like the breath flows anywhere and everywhere. Perhaps you can even feel or imagine your skin breathing, which of course it does, and the feeling of the whole of the body sitting and breathing or lying here breathing, and all of the various sensations fluxing within the body, including the sense of proprioception, the feeling of the body's position in space, and interoception, the overall feeling for how the body is. As you rest in a spacious and accepting, knowing awareness that for now, in this moment, allows everything in this universe of the body to be exactly as it is, and to be known and held and accepted exactly as it is. Known as whole, as complete, as alive, as the vehicle for your life's expression right here, right now, in this moment, through your own direct, somatic, non-conceptual experiencing, however it is in this moment, whatever your thoughts about it, whatever emotion arises around it from time to time, and resting here in this larger knowing, fully embodied from the skin right down to your bones and joints, to your muscles and nerves. Awareness filling the miracle of this body just as it is, beautiful just as it is, whole just as it is, complete just as it is, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. And as this period of practicing together comes to an end, seeing if you can form the intention to allow the embodied mindfulness that you've been cultivating to travel with you as you move from the domain of being more into emphasizing the domain of doing, so that you may be more fully in touch with the carriage of the body, with the body as a whole, with the universe of sensations within it, moment by moment, as you move through all the various activities and demands of your day.
Move your body in whatever way feels delicious. So now we begin a period of questions, comments about what we just experienced. I liked his last comment about embodied. Very much an emphasis in mindfulness on embodied spirituality. I'm not off in an altered state of consciousness. As the Zen Buddhists say, the miracle is to chop wood and carry water, to feel my feet on the earth. We're not looking for something supernatural. We're looking to become more deeply embedded in the physical, in our own bodies and in the world. Hope you listen to his languaging. We may need to do this again next week about flow, about the flow of the breath in the body, the flow of energy in the body. This is the Holy Spirit. This is prana. This is your chi. This is not something different from what the ancients were talking about as that sacred energy, that Shakti. And feeling that flow, when I take a deep breath mindfully, I get goosebumps. It's that sensual. We think sensuality has nothing to do with spirituality, and that's because of the confusion in Christianity between Paul's emphasis on the flesh as opposed to spirit. And what Paul meant by flesh was addiction, very similar to what the Sufis mean by the nafs. It's not the body, it's the part of the body that craves more. The Sufis call it the devouring soul, that suddenly I want more sensual experiences and deeper craving. I give into that. It's very different. This is about inner penetration. When you look at the Tao, the darkness interpenetrates the light interpenetrates the dark. They're not separate, and it moves, and it's a dance, it's a flow. And that's what we're being invited into, is to feel that flow. And he was beginning to just a little bit tease us with feel your body breathing, feel your skin breathing. We'll move in other meditations into that interaction with the energy outside. But you're constantly being interpenetrated with infrared light, with ultraviolet, with sound, ultrasound, and all these energies are going through us, moving through us, and they're literally dancing our bodies. When we become rigid, we're practicing dying. Dead bodies are rigid. Dead bodies are cold. If you're alive, you're supple, you're juicy. You're moving, you're dancing, you're not. No, that's stupid stuff people do because they think it's spiritual. But anyhow, so those were the things, and the emphasis he said on, even though we can talk about parts of the body, when you zoom out, you begin to see that it's all the same body. And when you zoom out even further, as I'm sure Brad agrees, if you get in touch with your true body, the earth is your true body. The old statement, what did your face look like before you were born? It was the fucking universe. The universe put this face on, decided to wear it for a while, get a few laughs, and then dissolve it and try another one. So that's kind of the muddlings I got out of that. What have you all got this morning?